you know why all of us are alive today? It is thanks to a faithful man who walked with God a long time ago. His name was Noah. The Bible, in Genesis chapter 6, tells us that many years ago, about 600 years after the first man, Adam, died, some angels looked down from heaven upon the earth and noticed the women. They saw that they were very pretty, and those angels began to have bad thoughts. They left heaven and became like men so that they could marry the women. This was unnatural and very wrong. The women then had babies who grew up to be giant bullies called Nephilim. These bullies beat up people. Many men copied their bad example. Doubtless, even children became bullies. People in that violent world ignored the suffering around them. They were enjoying life, marrying, eating, and drinking. They were buying and selling and did not care about God. Violence was everywhere. Innocent people were being attacked. Now, what did Jehovah God think about that wicked world? He saw that the badness of men was everywhere, and that what they thought about was only bad all the time. Jehovah felt hurt that men were wicked. What did God decide to do about it? He said, "I am going to wipe mankind from the face of the earth." Did this mean that nobody would be left on the earth? No. The Bible tells us that during this time of violence, at least one man obeyed God, Noah. This God-fearing man and his wife had 3 sons. Probably the firstborn was Japheth. The next son was Shem. Ham was the youngest. These obedient sons and their faithful wives would be a great help to Noah in a special task that God would soon give him to do. Why did Jehovah favor Noah? What made him special? Noah was a faithful man who walked with God by serving him from day to day. He was different from the rest of mankind. He obeyed God. How would Jehovah destroy that wicked world? He said, "I am going to cause a huge flood to cleanse the earth. The water will be so deep that everything will drown." But what about the birds and the animals? And what about faithful Noah and his family? Jehovah gave Noah special instructions on how to build a life-saving ark. What would it look like? It would look like a huge oblong box. It would be long and narrow, with a flat bottom and square ends. They had to clear a large area in order to measure out the ground plan for this huge ark. Can you imagine how big it would be? It would be over 400 feet long, much longer than a football field, about 70 feet wide, and as high as a 4-story house. Noah probably built it near a forest where wood was easy to get. But how would Noah and his family, only 8 persons, build such a massive vessel? It was something they had never done before. With God's help, they were able to build the ark. Besides doing this work, they had another important task to do. They had to warn their neighbors about the coming flood. Can you imagine how those people might have reacted to their preaching? Yeah. They probably said, "You fools! Why are you building this huge box here? You're wasting your time. Our world is not going to end." They ignored Noah's warning and just continued in their normal daily routine. But Noah listened to God, not to his neighbors. It took him and his family a long time to build the ark. For over 40 years, they obediently worked hard at it. At long last, the ark was completed. They had made it waterproof. For light and fresh air, they had put a window opening all around. They also made a large door in its side. In preparation for their long stay in the ark, Noah and his family had to prepare fruits, grains, and other foods. They had to store water to sustain themselves and many kinds of animals and birds. But they were not yet finished. They now had to face another challenge, an urgent job. Genesis chapter 7 tells us that Noah and his family started to lead all the different kinds of animals into the ark. They only had a short time to do it. Why? Because God said, "In just 7 days more, I am making it rain upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. The whole earth will be flooded, and I will wipe out every breathing thing." Therefore, take into the ark 7 each of the clean animals to be used in my worship. Of the other kinds, take 2 each. Jehovah must have helped Noah to direct the many kinds of animals that had to be led into the ark. None were left out, not even the little ones, the creeping ones, or the slow ones. Did Noah waste any time? Did he think, well, this can all wait until tomorrow? No. He did according to all that Jehovah had commanded him. It wasn't easy, but once again, he and his family showed that they were God-fearing and obedient. They did just so. When all the animals were safely inside, Jehovah shut the door. Now Noah and his family had to wait. Would the flood come? Or would they look foolish, all locked up inside the ark? Just as God had said, the heavens burst open. It rained and it rained without stopping. It was a deluge. It poured down for 40 days and 40 nights. Yes, Jehovah kept his word. The waters rose higher and higher. Imagine how all felt when the ark started to float and rock. The animals were scared. They had no idea what was happening. The ark began to rise slowly with the waters. Eventually, even the highest mountains were covered. The earth was flooded for 150 days. What happened to all the wicked, violent people who had scoffed at Noah's warning? They drowned. During all the months that the ark floated, Noah and his family were kept busy. They cared for their own needs and for those of the animals. Only the animals in the ark and Noah and his family were saved. 8 people survived because they listened to Jehovah and did as he commanded. They did just so. Next, God caused a wind to pass over the earth to dry it out. The waters began to drop, forming oceans, seas, lakes, and rivers. Imagine how Noah and his family must have felt when the ark suddenly settled on the mountains of Ararat. What happened next? Genesis chapter 8 says that Noah sent out a raven to see if there was any dry land nearby. But it kept coming back. There was no place for it to land. Later, Noah released a dove. But no matter how far it searched, there were no trees. Like the raven, it also came back. 7 days later, Noah sent the dove out again. It came back with a freshly plucked olive leaf in its beak. Noah now knew that some trees were visible again. Eventually, the earth dried off. Noah now waited for Jehovah's next command. God said, "Go out of the ark, you and all your family and all the birds and animals." How would you have felt after surviving the flood? You would have been very thankful to God. And that's just how Noah and his family felt. They were so grateful that they built an altar to Jehovah. They offered sacrifices of thanksgiving upon it. God was very pleased with Noah's thankful worship. Noah and his family were overjoyed because Jehovah had saved them. Jehovah now blessed them and told them to have children and spread across the earth. In time, Noah's sons and their wives had families. The animals also had their little ones. Thus the human and animal population began to spread over all the earth. Jehovah made a solemn promise to Noah and to the rest of mankind. Never again will I send a flood to ruin the whole earth. He gave them something beautiful in the sky to help them remember his promise. My rainbow I do give in the cloud, and it must serve as a sign of the agreement between me and the earth. You too can be like Noah. How? By learning from his good example. He had a strong spiritual family. Together, they had built the ark and had cared for the animals. They had also preached to an unbelieving world. Yes, Noah was a preacher of righteousness. Noah walked with God. And now, so must we. How? We must preach the good news that God has promised to cleanse our world of the wicked. He will restore paradise on earth for all the good people who serve him and follow his Son, Jesus. Then, Noah and his family will come back to life on earth. Will you and your family be there? Will you be in paradise to talk to them? If you walk with God, you surely will.